Okay, back again for another day. I did do a decent amount of work offline, and I'll go through that. See, I think oh, there we go. It works. I don't know if I had any other. I think I did. I don't know if I did this part, but I did get the profile and the stats page semi-working. There were still a few things I needed to actually do because right now it doesn't. They work, as in they're live and they make the API calls, but they don't actually do anything. So the data is populated dynamically on the profile page. Where's my README? On the profile page, it does show the sites. I don't have the link set up to go to the statistics page, but in the statistics page, it does read from the query parameter. It does not do the graph. It does not do the graph per statistics, but it does ask for this and then return it, whatever that body is, based on the site ID. So I have that part working, but right now it's just like JSON.stringify. So it doesn't actually mean anything. Well, I need to transform the data. The data is there. I need to transform it on the front end, and that was the part that was difficult for me because that's not what I normally do. Let's walk through this. I got rid of that just because I didn't think I needed it anymore. I do have a primary bucket now, and that bucket is different from the front end bucket because all it does is hold the script that is run on the front end. So this is what's run on the front end. And I have it actually on my personal blog right now. So it's this guy. So it grabs it, it runs it asynchronously, and it passes in the site ID. What this does is it grabs the source URL string, so it can kind of use introspection of sorts to grab its source, which is this, right? And then using just JavaScript APIs, it parses the URL, grabs the origin, and that's what we post to later for stats. Then it grabs the site ID, which is the attribute of the current script. It grabs the path name from the window, so that would be your slash whatever. It creates the stats profile, and in the future I would like this to be a little more dynamic. Like I would like to put something in the script that it can grab other events of whatever sort, and then it posts it. So that's how it works so far. That's what that bucket is for. All this is doing, I think, is creating the API gateway resource for that. So in the API gateway, along the same lines, what it does is grab from that bucket and return it. So it's just an S3 proxy. One thing that I was having a little bit of trouble with is here, I got it over here. It returns it as, oh, there are the headers. It returns it as application JSON, and I don't know why. That I wanted it to be JavaScript, not JSON. So Insomnia renders it kind of strangely, but it works fine on the front end. Let's see. That's what that was all about. I needed to add some core stuff to posting stats. This is the bucket. That's all the bucket is. It's not public. Oh. Oh yeah, because it's through API Gateway. That's why public access can be blocked. I moved this function out into its own file, but it still does the same thing. Right, so here it is just in its own file. That's processing the mustache templates. This was the, and we'll probably look at this later today, this was the JavaScript for the statistics page. There's the blank HTML. Let's see. So what I do is on page load, there's a listener down here, which calls that function. It gets the token from the cookie, and then it grabs the parameters, gets the site ID. It posts an error message if it's not correct. Otherwise, it fetches it with that site ID, and then all it does is return that JSON. So I guess it puts it, it writes it to the page. There's the template. That doesn't really mean much. And that's it. Yeah. What is this? Oh, yeah, that's the script. Blech. Yeah. So there's that. And then I don't know what I did in here. Oh, I just had to allow. I just had to add a header. And that's, I think, where we are. Let me see. Did I do anything? No, I didn't do anything else. So there's that. And I did, like I said, hook this up to my blog. So you can see a little bit of traffic. I was hitting this endpoint yesterday. But let's see what we've gotten over the past couple days. Make sure it's working. Sony is always so slow on the first startup. So I would say it's working. We have an overall 124 views, and so far today, right, this is UTC time. I don't have time zones set up with this. So let's look on Google and see how close we are. And I'm just looking ballpark. I don't think it has to be like exact, right? But close would be nice. I'd have to actually add it all up. It looks higher. But I don't know how I would tell what it actually is. So I also don't know if these numbers add up. That'd be another thing to do. But either way, the API is getting hit. 78, so they're like 28 lines, 27 lines. Yeah, I don't know if this number adds up. Who knows? The accuracy of it is TBD. Let's go to the statistics page, and that's what I wanted to work on today. Oh, and also, I wanted to fix the synthetic script, because right now I think it is failing, and I have been getting emailed by it. I'm pretty sure the reason why it's failing is because I changed where the authorization is supposed to come from, where the JWT is supposed to come from, and I never updated it. So let's find the monitor. And wherever the lambda is. So all of this stuff, right, because this was all crow things. So that will be taken away or refactored. So instead of crow auth URL, I'm just going to call this authentication service URL. That will go there. That will be service URL. I don't think I need. I will keep the app ID. app ID because I did keep that concept. So I shouldn't need to retrieve the application JWT again. Yeah, that was only a crow thing. So now I just need to get the user JWT, which is from that URL. And all that. And this is, what's it called? Application ID. Okay. I don't think that's, yeah, I can create something like that. Yeah, a test at test.com. I'll create something like that real quick. Nope, I need a user. And then I need to go to DynamoDB, and I need to get that verification token. Why are there two of these? Oh, because yes. I recently destroyed and then rebuilt it just for fun, just to make sure, you know, it actually works. So it's 9AB4. So that's the correct one. This is not the correct one, which would make sense because, well, it doesn't really work. Either way, so the verification token is that. So now I have my user, so now I should actually be able to use that user. Oh, they're both 9AB. 1B7LG. Okay, so this is the one I want to delete. Okay. Oh yeah, let me check the actual logs. I'm pretty sure that's the problem, but yeah, at 401. Ooh, 401. Unauthorized. That would make sense. Okay. So that would be, okay, the authentication service, pass the bearer token, not for the authentication service, I don't need that. Email, password, that's correct, and then that should be used in subsequent requests to the analytics site. So, in here, my monitor, I need to change that to endpoint, which is that. And then my, what did I call it? Auth service app ID. And that I don't need anymore. That is that guy. Okay. And these were parameters. Yeah. Okay. I'll just hard code them. Change them if I need to. Oh, actually. I'll just pass them in. Well, that's a long one, isn't it? Okay. there, and then in here, where my monitor is, there's the application ID and the service URL. That's the ID. And here's the URL. Okay. Now that can change for dev and prod, whatever. Okay. Now let's deploy that. And I only want to deploy that one. So it's that. Oops, it's that. Yep. As long as it works, as long as it synthesizes. No. Supply property is not correct. Oh. So there was something that I changed, but then did not push or did not test. Okay. Response parameters. Okay, I have to figure out what that actually is. Is that just like a model for it? It might just be a model. No, what am I doing? Am I adding a method? Yeah. I always forget how to find this. I always have to go back to resource, method options. What is it? It's a struct. Okay. Then I need request parameters. Source is the key, boolean is the value, specifies whether the parameter is required. Okay. So I don't know what that actually does, because I thought that what that did was set it, but it apparently does not. Probably in the integration. Okay. So I might need to add something in the response parameters. Response templates. Yeah, maybe it's in response parameters that I need to add it. Let's see. Response parameters. And then I'm going to comment that out. And we'll see. Oh, oops. Okay. Yeah, it might be it. I don't know. I mean, that fixed the synth issue. I don't know from an API gateway standpoint if that was the correct thing to do. So we'll figure out whenever I push it. I'll have to, test it out again. But I have a feeling that's right. I'm going to go ahead and leave it and send it. The response parameters, it's probably going to be different. Because I have to match these up, right? The destination must be an existing response parameter in the method response property, which would be that guy. So maybe that is correct. And then maybe I need that as well. What was this on? Stats? Okay. I don't know. We'll have to see with stats. Oops. Go to the network. Let's see. Should be able to find. So here's my stuff. There is no response, but it doesn't say it's upset about anything, so. But it also doesn't have those headers in the response. So maybe that's it. I mean, yeah, so by the way, this is the script, right? It does the options for cores and then it does stats. So it actually makes the request on our behalf and it's accepted. So there's the, let's see, the request is page view / So that's what it looks like. Integration request. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe that is correct. Oh, here we go. Request parameters. Integration, whatever, to that. Method requests. That's request. What about response? There we go. Method, whatever, is integrations, whatever. Okay. Okay. So I want to do this with content type. Maybe that fixed that issue. And this is wrong. This is supposed to be integration response content type. down here, this is incorrect. I'm going to take all those out. Let's see, did it deploy? Okay. So this is out here. I'm going to go ahead and run this real quick. No, we failed. 403. Oh, it was a post. That's why. Let's go in here. I'll just do it in here because it's quicker. So, oh, what? Yeah, it didn't update. Yeah, there we go. Let's deploy that. And get it here as well. And let's test again. Still, all right. Something from CloudFront. I'm gonna do it again. No, it's still 403. I just got pinged that it failed. And what's the URL? Okay, so it works for me. So what's the difference? Let's see. Oh, it posts it in the... It puts it in the body. I need that to be in parameters. So how do I do that? Have I done that in here before? Doesn't look like it. I could have sworn I've done it before. Maybe in the calendar API. Looking for a get. Params, that's what it's called. console. Okay, deploy that. It's much easier to just deploy it. It's so much faster. And then just save your changes in local. Deploy them later. What did I do? Just muscle memory there. All right, this one's taking longer. We still failed, but we took longer. Okay, so we got pretty far. Retrieve site by ID. And what were we looking for? Response does not include correct owner. Ah, yeah. Well, it's not going to be anymore because I'm basing that off of not email address, but user ID. So that's why. Let's see. Do I use owner anywhere else? Only there. Yeah, that's the only place I really use it. I'm going to say as long as it exists, as long as there is an owner's list. Oh, it's just a, let's see, what happens if you get site by ID? Yeah, it's that. So it's not email address anymore, which is fine. I don't think there's a problem with that. What it does is instead of, I don't know if I was on stream when I made that change. Instead of, in the authorizer, getting the user ID as that special claims key, which I didn't think was actually correct anyway, it now gets it from the JWT sub. And as a JWT should have the sub claim. It's a reserved claim, and it should be who is the subject of the JWT. So I think that's actually the correct way to do it. And in my new authentication service, I streamed all that as well, how I built that, and that's also open source, so you can use that if you'd like, instead of building your own JWT service. It just uses a randomly generated user ID as the sub. That'll stay the same across all JWTs if you log in with that username, that email and ID or password. It'll always map to that same user ID, but instead of it being the email address, it's now its own unique ID. There were a couple of reasons why I did that, but that's probably also, that's discussed in those streams and not necessarily needed for this. So I just need to make sure that the owner exists. But that it should. Does not include. I'll just do that. I'll just call it that. Line is at 128. Okay, let's deploy that again. Did that actually run it? I can't tell. Not the best UI there. And it worked. Okay, so that was the fix, or the fixes. Those were the fixes. So now I should stop getting emailed all the time. And I want to now do, I want to deploy the API with the changes I made. Specifically these. Where else were they? And that one. I want to see if that script, did it matter? Did it do that? So here's where it actually gets the script. And I want to see if it'll, it also does that. So I want those to be present. I want those headers to be present. And I want the content type to pass through. Yeah. Make it synth. Only that one. I think it does more than that. I think because it relies on tables and buckets, it deploys tables and buckets as well, but whatever. The other thing I was curious about while this is deploying that I'll go ahead and look into is if AWS had a way to migrate tables. Can you migrate DynamoDB to DynamoDB? Like, let's say I created a new table, but I wanted the data the same. Or is there a copy? DynamoDB copy? There's gotta be, someone's had to have created something, right? Yeah, like a backup or something with a new table name. Okay, so you can create a backup. Or there's a Python script from some guy I've checked on. I'm sure it's fine, but. Oh, he has a little Docker image for us. It's a data pipeline that you could do. So there are ways. There's no, it doesn't look like there's a great AWS way. Cross-count full table copy options. I think the backup and restore is probably the better one. Data pipeline, using backup. Okay, so there are ways. It didn't work. Don't need that. Let's go in here. Oh. This might take some more fiddling. I'm actually going to have to end the stream now. I have something I need to go do, unfortunately. I was hoping that would work real quick, but Yeah, so I'll probably keep working on that because I would like the content type to come through. I think that that would look nicer. Um, so I'll get working on that, and then maybe next time I'll try to work on the statistics page and um, try to make that data look pretty. Yeah. So that's what it looks like, right? And then if we go to statistics, it'll take you to profile, right? And we have site ID, go to that site ID, and then it pulls it up. So there's all the data. Now I just have to like transform it to look better. But that's what it looks like so far. That's where we are. Um, Need to actually make a graph and then um, make the rest of it look pretty because I don't think it looks very pretty right now. Just to have something basic so whenever people stumble across it and want to use it, they can get something decent out of the box and not worry too much about anything else, the bare bones. But then I'll probably offer some sort of managed service with a better UI or more features, something like that. So yeah, that'll do it for me today. Thanks for watching. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. My email's on my blog, and yeah, I'm open to hearing. I like hearing from people who have stumbled across my things and enjoy them, especially on GitHub. If you want to use any of this code, it's all there. It's all open source. And if you need some help setting it up, let me know. I'd be more than happy to help. But that'll do it for me today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.